Hey, gentlemen, today we are going over Man Wisdom number 35 together, and we are going to cover questions every man must ask. What will I be doing when I meet my wife? We're reading from Genesis chapter 24, verse 63 through 65. Christian, you want to read?
Yes, please.
All right, awesome. I think we're one page away. Oh, you got it. Awesome.
And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening, and he lifted his eyes and looked, and there, the camels were coming. Then Rebekah lifted her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she dismounted for her camel, for she had said to her servant, "What is this man walking in the field to meet us?" The servant said, "It is my master." So she took a valley and covered herself.
A valley?
Sorry,
That's
valley.
okay. A veil?
I don't know.
It's a veil. Do you know what a veil is?
No.
A veil is something a woman uses to cover her beauty. We're going to talk about actually a little bit about what that is. So the key here is first impressions. First impressions can mean everything as they leave a lasting or in some cases permanent impact upon relationships in life. So how important then is the first impression with a potential future spouse? There is no one more important in this world to make a first impression upon. So the natural question then becomes, what first impression should I hope to make on my future spouse? Where do I want to be? And how do I want to be behaving? Now, no one can judge or say what that ought to be for you. It's your decision. But we do find one of, if not the, greatest examples of first impressions in the story of Isaac and Rebekah. Rebekah's first impression of Isaac, as she laid eyes on him praying in the field, was that of a man who loved and sought after God. And Isaac's first impression of Rebekah, as she covered herself with her veil and walked to Isaac, was a woman of modesty, strength, and confidence. It seems like both fell in love immediately with one another, and it may be the closest example one can find in the Bible of love at first sight. And one of the reasons for this, I believe, is due to the first impression each made upon the other. And from that first impression on, Isaac and Rebekah lived out one of, if not the, greatest examples of a good marriage found in the Bible. First impressions are huge. What first impression do you hope to make on your future spouse? And more importantly, are you living the type of life that will help lead to that first impression? And one last question. If you hope to make the most lasting of impressions on a good and godly spouse, when you meet your spouse, will you be seeking them? Or like Isaac, will you be seeking the Lord? So here's your action for this. Whether unmarried or married, take an inventory of your life. Are you living a life of first impressions that you would hope to make on your spouse? If not, ask God to help you make changes as necessary. Amen, buddy?
Amen.
So, can I ask you a question on this?
Yes.
What kind of first impression would you hope to make on your future spouse? Like, you saw the woman, you're like, man, I could fall in love with this woman, and I want to make a great first impression on her. What would you want to be doing?
I don't know.
You don't, yeah. It's kind of a tough question, isn't it? Yeah. You're a little too young to be thinking about these things, thankfully. All right, cool. Hope you got something out of this, and God bless you. See you next time. You want to say bye?
Bye.
All right.